Do you ever wish you could learn new things faster and more easily? Do you study for hours only to forget most of what you learned by the next day? You are not alone, and there is good news. Science has uncovered the secrets of how our brains learn most effectively. This is not a magical trick or a special talent reserved for a few. The brain is an amazing organ that works according to clear principles. Once you understand these principles, you can use them to your advantage. This essay will guide you through the simple, powerful ideas that can change how you learn forever. Think of your brain not as a fixed object, but as a living, growing garden. Every time you learn something new, you are planting a tiny seed. This seed is a new connection between the cells in your brain, neurons. At first, this connection is just a thin, weak little sprout. New, practiced, mastered. If you learn something once and then never think about it again, that sprout withers and disappears. The brain is efficient. It prunes unused connections. That's why you can forget a person's name moments after hearing it. To make that connection strong, you have to tend to it. You need to revisit the information. Recall a fact. Practice a math problem. Try a new chord on the guitar. Each time, the neural connection gets a little thicker and stronger. Learning cannot begin without one crucial ingredient: your attention. Attention is the gateway to your brain. If the gate is closed, no information can get in, no matter how hard you try. In our modern world, this gate is constantly being pushed and pulled by distractions. Your phone buzzes with a notification. An email pops up on your screen. Someone starts a conversation nearby. Each of these things pulls your focus away, effectively closing the gate to learning. To learn well, you must become the guardian of this gate. The best way to guard your attention is to consciously remove as many distractions as possible before you begin. Find a quiet space. Put your phone on silent and place it in another room or out of sight. Close any unnecessary tabs on your computer. Let the people around you know that you need some uninterrupted time to focus. It may seem like a simple step, but creating a dedicated, distraction-free environment is one of the most powerful things you can do to improve your learning. Your brain can then devote all of its resources to the task at hand. Your brain's ability to maintain intense focus is limited, like a muscle that gets tired. You cannot expect to focus for hours on end without a break. Your memory generally works in two main stages: short-term memory, long-term memory. Think of your short-term memory like a small sticky note in your mind. It can only hold a few pieces of information at a time, and only for a very short period. When you hear a phone number and repeat it to yourself just long enough to dial it, you are using your short-term memory. The problem is that this sticky note gets wiped clean very easily to make room for new information. To truly learn something, you need to move it from the sticky note to a permanent file cabinet. That permanent file cabinet is your long-term memory. It has a virtually unlimited capacity to store information for years or even a lifetime. The key question is, how do you move information from the temporary sticky note to the permanent file cabinet? How you practice is just as important as the fact that you practice. As we've seen, active practice like quizzing yourself is far more effective than passive practice like rereading. Another key element is to mix things up. If you are learning a math concept, do not just solve 10 problems of the exact same type in a row. Instead, try to solve a few problems of one type, then a few of another, and then mix them all together. This technique is called interleaving. It forces your brain to learn the underlying principles and helps you recognize which strategy to use, rather than just mechanically repeating a single procedure. Another powerful principle is spacing. Your brain learns more effectively when you spread your practice sessions out over time. Cramming for a test by studying for 5 hours the night before is a terrible strategy for long-term learning. While you might remember some information for the test the next day, most of it will be gone a week later. A much better approach is to study for 1 hour each day for 5 days. This spacing effect gives your brain time to consolidate the new connections between study sessions, making them stronger and more permanent. Many of us are taught to fear making mistakes. We see them as a sign of failure or a lack of intelligence. However, from the perspective of our brains, mistakes are not failures. They are valuable pieces of information. When you attempt a problem and get it wrong, your brain receives a powerful feedback signal. It learns, okay, that path did not work. Trial and error is how we learn almost everything. Walking as a toddler, mastering a complex scientific theory. To learn effectively, you must practice where it's safe to make mistakes. That's why low-stakes practice matters. Quiz yourself with flashcards. Try to solve practice problems. The goal isn't a perfect score. It's finding gaps in your knowledge. Every mistake you make and then correct strengthens a weak neural connection. We have covered a lot of ground, but the core message is simple. You can become a better learner by using small, simple habits that work with your brain's natural design. You do not need to completely overhaul your life. All you need is to start with one or two of these ideas and apply them today. Learning is not a mysterious talent. It is a skill that can be practiced and improved. The power to change how you learn is entirely in your hands. It starts with the very next thing you choose to study. Remember the story of the student learning a new language. She succeeded not through genius, but through simple, repeatable steps. Let's boil it all down to a practical list you can use right now. First, when you sit down to learn, choose one thing to focus on. Remove all distractions for 25 minutes. Second, after you read or watch something, close the book or pause the video. Try to recall the main ideas from memory. Test yourself. Third, plan to review the same material for just a few minutes tomorrow, and again in a few days. Use spacing. Fourth, make sure you get a good night's sleep tonight. Sleep helps your brain process and store what you learned. Embrace the idea that making mistakes during practice is a good thing. They are signposts on the road to mastery. And whenever you can, explain what you are learning to someone else, even to yourself. These are not complicated rules. They are small adjustments that have a profound impact on how your brain absorbs and retains information. The most important step is the first one. Pick one of these strategies and try it. Just one. Your brain is ready and waiting to build new connections. It is designed to learn and adapt. By using these techniques, you give it the right conditions to do what it does best. You will find learning becomes less frustrating and more rewarding. You will retain more information and feel a growing sense of confidence. The journey to becoming a more effective learner is not a race. It's a gradual process of building better habits. Start that process today and enjoy the wonderful feeling of getting a little bit smarter every day. Protect your focus, practice actively, space it out, sleep well, and teach what you learn. Your smarter self starts now. Like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more videos.